Namaskar. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce you to the Indian Plumbing Association's Plumb Talk series. As part of Plumb Talk, plumbing industry experts from across the country will be explaining the nuances of plumbing technology in an easy and understandable manner. And this will make plumbing science easier for building industry professionals, engineering and architectural students, as well as the general public to understand the basics of plumbing technology. Let me give you a little background on IPA, which is the apex body of plumbing professionals in India. IPA is now a 29-year-old body started in 1993, currently has 24 chapters working towards redefining plumbing standards in India, tirelessly working towards better plumbing for a healthy living. I therefore request you to please go through the Plumb Talk series, which will be a guide for students, for architectural students, for even current architects and engineers, so that you are able to improve your knowledge on plumbing and ensure that all plumbing installations are installed not only as per codes, but we make sure that whatever water we use, we move towards net zero water and net zero sanitary.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, friends and folks, welcome to the Plumb Talk series. And today, I as a part of Indian Plumbing Association team, I am going to take you all through retrofitting of plumbing systems, which was covered in the chapter 7 of A Guide to Good Plumbing Practices published by Indian Plumbing Association. Just closely watch the images which will impact you for sure, the background. The bottle trap leaking is one image and the cute child sitting in the system to arrive at the solution. You see where we are going. What do you understand from the images? Impact, impact, impact. One thing is very clear, we are all moving towards advancement. Constant advancement of technology in the plumbing industry necessitates that installations carried out years ago be reviewed and essential modifications be implemented for upgradation and compliance with latest Bureau of Indian Standards, Uniform Plumbing Code and National Building Code standards. This is of particular relevance taking into account the current focus on water conservation and other green building measures. This chapter attempts to briefly review the salient points related to retrofitting of plumbing system. Well, let's understand the meaning of the word retrofitting from the building construction point of view before getting into the plumbing system retrofitting. This chapter covers into 3 parts. 1, definition and importance of retrofitting, advantages of retrofitting, its benefits, retrofitting pipes, sanitary fixtures, CP fittings. These things will be covered in part 1. Making the case of plumbing retrofit, materials and improvements will be covered in part 2. And finally, the problems and measures, augmentation of water storage and conclusion will be covered in part 3. Let's start with the part 1. This retrofitting is a process by which new features are added to the existing structures. Retrofitting helps in reducing the vulnerability, that is exposure of damage to an existing structure in case of any natural disaster or seismic activity. Let me share with you a case study. There is an inspection into 40 years institution building that management decided to demolish the complete building, that is G plus 2 floor structures, and build a new building of budget 20 crores. When we inspected and suggested to retrofit the building to a new one instead of demolishing with the budget of 5 crores. What went wrong? When we analyzed, we found that there are water stagnation at the roof terrace. I am giving only a small portion of it. Lot of cracks appear in the building, roots grown, rainwater leakage. There are so many aspects covered in the building. Friends, I want to tell you one thing here. Any building always divided into 3 parts. One is the civil and structural. The second is the MEP systems. The third is the finishes. These 3 forms a major part of the building. So when we analyze whether we need to go for retrofitting or renovation, by doing the auditing, we can able to suggest to the management What we suggested in this case study is go with the retrofitting. Now let me discuss about the importance of retrofitting. Retrofitting is perhaps the most ideal alternative to make an existing structure protected against future dangers. Problem that needs to be addressed. 1. Damage assessment. Number 2. Design and analysis of suitable repair methods and techniques. 3. Strengthening and refurbishment techniques. Number 4. Materials for repair, protection and rehabilitation. And number 5. Durability considerations. What's the advantage of retrofitting? To increase the strength of the building, to avoid the failure of the existing old system, to reduce the effects of the irregularities, that is the wrongdoings, any loopholes, to ensure adequate stability. Retrofitting increases the life of the building. Now comes retrofit for plumbing. There are many risks that come with the old plumbing systems. When we say plumbing system, it is water supply pipes, drainage pipes, sanitary fittings and CP fittings. So retrofitting is a process of replacing those old water pipes and drainage pipes with new ones. Retrofitting simply refers to the process of installing or modifying the pipes and fixtures that were not available at the time of construction. For plumbing pipes, this could mean installing water meter in the system for water consumption monitoring. Epoxy painting, if any, for the open metal pipes to increase the durability and longevity of existing pipes from the corrosion protection point of view. Therefore, the concept of retrofitting is simple. Replace the old technologies. Once new plumbing systems and new pipes are installed in your old building, the water usage significantly improves. Also, the risk of health complications owing to degraded water pipes gets minimized. This retrofit is also includes changing your toilets and shower heads and faucets. And during times of water emergencies, it is not a request, it should be a rule. So now coming to benefits of retrofitting. Retrofitting in the long usage saves cost by increasing the life of the plumbing systems and by reducing water wastage. Old water pipes can cause serious health complications because of biofilm formation. Replacing it with a new pipe seems to be a reasonable solution. Old plumbing pipes require maintenance. Retrofitting helps in reducing the regular maintenance cost and improves the old plumbing system, thus increasing the reliability. Having explained about the retrofitting concept, now let us look into the toilet area of individual building. Before even going further, have a look into the video. This video clearly states on the necessity of the retrofitting in plumbing, irrespective of the type of segments, whether it is residential segment, commercial segment, institution segment, hospital segment and hotel segment. You know the reason? Reason is very, very simple. This MS bracket fixed with a wooden plug into the cistern got corroded and broken, and thereby water splashed in the entire toilet and damaged the water heater and the entire control. Therefore, irrespective of the number of years of using the material, once in a year or once in 2 years, plumbing audit shall be made to correct the system. It is like medical checkup, no? Person has to go for a medical checkup once or twice in a year, just approaching a doctor. In this case, you have to approach a plumbing consultant. In our language, we call it plumbing doctor. Rooms where toilet, showers are there, it tend to use both the cold water and hot water. By retrofitting these, you are reducing the amount of water consumed by each fixture. The best way to get the most accurate estimate of water consumption is to get a water audit. That is where a plumbing professional like us can tell you how much water you are using and where the biggest source is. Now coming to retrofitting plumbing in an older homes. When you want to buy an older home, you get older systems with it that needs a change up. If you are trying to add a bathroom or upgrade the kitchen, you may need to retrofit new plumbing into the home. When I say plumbing retrofitting means, again I am discussing with you on pipe retrofitting followed by fixtures retrofitting. Pipe retrofitting involves installing new pipes or painting epoxy paint lining for exposed pipes. Those days pipes are exposed. For that, suppose if you see GA pipe, we need to coat with the epoxy paint the GA pipe to extend the plumbing system's longevity. Benefits of pipe retrofitting is installation much faster than traditional pipe replacement, less costly than replacing your existing plumbing system. It works in variety of different pipe materials including chlorinated polyvinyl chloride, polypropylene random, composite pipes, cross-linked polyethylene pipes. Now question is, can you retrofit your current plumbing fixtures? Yes. Retrofitting your current plumbing fixtures is to bring the touchless or push type technology to the bathroom and kitchen, whether in a private residence or in a commercial spaces like restaurant, kitchen, office workspace or institutions. In many cases, this process is quite simple as the technology has improved along with the quality and durability of touchless equipment. Also for the closets, dual systems it can be installed to save water. Here I want to emphasize to all my ladies and gentlemen watching this session is that Indian Plumbing Association is very closely working with government officials in the implementation, introduction of water conservation products in the industry to achieve net zero water, supporting sustainable development goals set by the Government of India. What else should you know about retrofitting for touchless plumbing fixtures? Here are some extra tips for you. Every situation is different when it comes to retrofitting for touchless plumbing fixtures. Nevertheless, here are some tips to keep in mind when making the switch or shift. Consider the traffic in areas where you are installing touchless taps. In high traffic areas, look for fixtures that use a wave action to dispense water, a sensor that merely detects anyone nearby. So this will minimize the faucets turning on when people are simply walking by the sink. Another option is to look for sensors that are only triggered within a very short distance of the faucet. Some sensors assume that a long physical presence in the sensing zone means damage or restriction, that we call it as vandalism. Then they will cut off operation accordingly. Think about the desired flow rate when selecting touchless faucets. In some situations, such as healthcare facilities, a minimum flow rate may be mandated by the code. When I mention every time code, it means Bureau of Indian Standards BIS, National Building Code NBC, Uniform Plumbing Code UPC, Water Efficient Plumbing Fixtures India, we call it as WEPI. But in many cases, you can boost your water conservation by selecting more environmentally friendly fixtures. Now let me get into part 2 of the session, making the case for plumbing retrofits. In any building construction, to complete the building, we need to do 4 important things. 1, planning, 2, design, 3rd is execution, and 4th is a maintenance. Similarly, for this retrofitting of systems, plumbing systems, this maintenance department plays a major role, whether we need to go for retrofitting or we need to go for the renovation. Now let us discuss about this maintenance. Maintenance and engineering managers have long recognized the benefits of upgrading the plumbing systems, that is reduced water usage, lower energy cost and decreased maintenance requirements. The problem is that top management in institutional and commercial facilities typically does not see an upgrade the same way. It is maintenance engineer or the chief engineer to appraise the top management. Maintenance engineers to calculate how much will this project cost, how much is it going to reduce operating expenses. Unless managers take the time to communicate the benefits of their retro projects to top executives in these terms, chances are they will not receive the funding they need and the project will fade away. For this water audits to be done, before managers can make the case for a plumbing retrofit, managers must understand the how, where and how much of water used in their facilities. Without this data, it is impossible to identify the retrofit activities that will produce the highest rate of return for the investment. Like the energy audit relatives, water audits examine a facility's operations, but in terms of water use rather than energy. How we conduct the energy audit, the water audit has to be conducted. The audit starts with a walkthrough of the facility, during which an inspector identifies and quantifies every point where water is used, including domestic, sanitary, mechanical systems, process and landscaping. Points is rather straightforward. Quantifying the amount of water used at those points can be challenging. Quantifying use is critical to selling the program in terms of its economic benefits. To quantify water savings and payback, managers need to determine the current cost of water, the use rate of all fixtures and equipment, the installed cost for all replacement fixtures and equipment, and the number of days the facility operates annually. Now let us talk about materials and improvements of piping systems. Pipe retrofitting with the introduction of new pipe materials. When I say new pipe materials, there is a PP material which is on and SS pipes also, where in medical projects we need to go with the SS material. There are a lot of other materials are coming to the field, so we need to go with the alternate materials for each and every project. Particularly PVC pipe materials avoids corrosion of pipes and ensures smooth flow. The age of a home may give you some information about the condition of the plumbing, but you might have it inspected to learn more about upgrades that happen along the way. Older homes may have plumbing made up of copper, iron or other materials. If the home had a plumbing update in 1980s, 90s, 70s, the home owners might have replaced the old system with PVC pipes. Attaching one material to a system of different materials may require a unique approach. Wireless water level controller shall be installed to avoid overflow from tanks now. That is one type of a retrofitting. So availability of better type and quality piping systems and appurtenances can be made use of for repairs and replacement of existing piping systems where site conditions and budgets permit. For example, the most commonly used material for potable water distribution systems was galvanized steel tube and fittings. These are gradually being phased out and replaced with modern plastic and composite pipe systems. Similarly, the most commonly used piping material for external gravity drainage system was toner pipes, despite its major limitation. Now, plastic piping systems are currently available as a substitute. These are all being used to replace drainage within the buildings with major limitations and health concerns. Modern appurtenances such as water hammer arresters, pressure reducing valves, safety valves and automatic air vents for water distribution systems and backwater valves, air admittance valves, positive air pressure attenuators for drainage systems are currently available. Introduction of these products where applicable to existing installations will enhance the performance of the systems. Let's move on to part 3, the problems and measures. In some cases, it is not just the plumbing that you have to address when you plan to add onto an older home. Extending the kitchen or adding an extra bathroom may call for more hot or cold water. Does our current hot or cold water tank meet your needs? Or can it stretch to accommodate the addition? If not, we have options to think about by consulting plumbing expert. With these tips, we can determine if retrofitting or replacement is better and find ways to increase your home's ability to handle the load. Coming to sanitary fixtures and appliances and its measures, relative easing of import restrictions and opening of the Indian economy has resulted in availability of plumbing fixtures and faucets of global standards from reputed manufacturers. As water conservation is mandated in most nations with advanced plumbing standards, a vast majority of these imported products comply with the current standards. A flushing system for water closet used to discharge 12.5 liters, 9 liters, 6 liters per flush in the past, whereas the current focus is to reduce these consumption to 4.5 liters per flush or even lesser using dual flushing mechanism. Similarly, showers and other faucets are now available with modern technology resulting in reduced flow rates. While replacing the sanitary fixtures and faucets in buildings with modern products, care also should be taken to ensure that water distribution and drainage systems are also appropriately modified. A common problem addressed by plumbing engineers across the globe today is what is termed as dry drain phenomenon. That is, gravity drainage system depend on the liquids as medium to carry the solids. If the water consumption is going to 3 liters flush or even now reduced water flow from water efficient fixtures further aggravated by waterless fixtures result in negating self-cleansing velocities, causing blockage of drains. We need to maintain the self-cleansing velocity for taking the solids, without which the sewage will not move. While attempting to comply with the much needed requirement of water conservation, caution shall be exercised to alleviate possible dangers of blocked drains and unsafe sanitary conditions. Some of the measures to be looked into while retrofitting of sanitary fixtures and faucets are as follows. Various models of water closet, flushing appliances, bidets, urinals, bathtubs from different manufacturers will have varying dimensions of water supply inlet and drainage outlets. The new fixtures and faucets to be introduced shall as far as possible cause minimum requirement of modification to existing pipework and related civil works. Many of the modern fixtures and faucets may require higher working pressures. When installed with existing water supply systems, introduction of booster pumps may have to be considered. The quality of the existing water distribution pipework shall be examined to ensure that they can withstand the possible increased working pressure of new fixtures. Rated working pressure of water heating appliances such as electric, gas, solar heater shall be verified to ensure that they withstand the higher water pressure. Current mandatory standards stipulate usage of alternate source of water, that is non-potable, for flushing of water closets and urinals, calling for dual water supply piping systems. Therefore, additional pipework may have to be installed to comply with this requirement. Special care should be taken to avoid cross connection between potable and non-potable systems. In fact, the word cross connection would have been explained by our plumbing expert Mr. Deshpande. While replacing conventional shower heads with low flow fixtures, care shall be taken to verify the quality of the fittings, since substandard fittings may cause severe accidents from scalding or thermal shocks. Ideally, the mixes used shall be of temperature and pressure compensating type. When bathtub replaces showers, the water supply pipework may require modification, as the bathtub faucet may have higher flow rate than the shower mixer. Flow restrictors are not provided on the bathtub spouts, even in installations focusing on water conservation measures, because its function is to fill a fixed capacity in a short time. Storage capacity of existing water heating systems may have to be changed to meet the enhanced requirement. Now let us discuss about augmentation of water storage. Several statutory requirements currently being implemented may not have been prevalent when an existing installation was carried out. Usage of alternative water sources, now regularly implemented, will call for additional independent compartments for storage of different categories of water. The retrofitting exercise also provides an opportunity to inspect and repair or replace damaged storage systems. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, plumbing needs extra care. It is like this: how services in a building forms heart of the entire building, plumbing also forms part of it. Whether you suggest retrofitting or replacement for the project, careful study to be made and findings can be suggested. When I say retrofitting or when you decided to go for retrofitting, qualified plumbing contractor or qualified plumbers to be employed for the execution, as they means plumbers protect the health of the nation. Thanks to Indian Plumbing Association headquarters for providing the opportunity of sharing my experience on the retrofitting topic, and in particular to the convener of the Plumb Talk, Mr. Prasanna Kumar. Thanks for watching IPS Plumb Talk series. This is Dr. S. Virapan signing off. To watch the other episodes being handled by IPA members with interesting topics from A Guide to Good Plumbing Practices. Thank you.